What's up, everybody? Welcome to vlog number 61. So we are on Merritt Island right now, and I'm heading to a park to edit some photos. I did the photo shoot for the real estate thing yesterday. It absolutely did not go as planned. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong, but I got some pictures, and I'm just gonna finish editing them at this park. And I was told that there's alligators here, so hopefully I will see some alligators and get them filmed. Basically, I've already learned so much about real estate photography. It's insane. Just my first couple cold calls, I learned a lot from them. And this photo shoot, I learned so much from. So much. It's amazing. As I said, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. But you know what? This is my chance to have a profession where I can travel from town to town and I can live the van life. I can even do this internationally. And it's something that I love doing, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. This is definitely a more than full-time job, but I enjoy it. I am my own boss, and I don't rely on somebody employing me and paying me hardly anything. All of the money comes back to me, or back into equipment, probably at least half of it, for a while at least, until I get some good gear. But yeah, so I'm really digging this. I'm not discouraged the least. I am taking this as an opportunity to learn lessons and become better at my craft. So let's check out this park. Woo! All right, so I'm at this park now. I didn't see any gators on the way in, but there were a few ponds. I'm just gonna grab a snack real quick and my laptop and get to work. Woo! All right, so they started mowing and it got extremely difficult to breathe. I don't know what it is with the Florida pollen or grass or whatever out here, but it makes it really hard to breathe. My allergies are really kicking in. So I'm gonna head to the post office real quick and mail out some stickers and check my P.O. box and find a place to park and finish editing, and then find some email and try to collect my money from that job. So basically the process of what happened is I made about 4 cold calls to real estate agents from realtor.com. And the first 2 was a no, but I learned a lot from those 2 because I could have followed up. One of them said, the property's been sold. I could have said, do you have other properties that need photography? And the next one said, well, we already have pictures, we just haven't uploaded them yet. And I could have said, are they professional, high quality pictures, or are they made with a point and shoot or a cell phone? And so I learned big lessons on those 2. And the third one just didn't pick up. I left a message, they never called me back. And the fourth one, I said, hey, I noticed you don't have any pictures on your listing at this address. I think that they would really help you sell your property quite a bit. So I am a professional photographer. Would you like me to come by and do a photo shoot to help you sell your property? You can even ask for even more money with good pictures, the statistics, blah, blah, blah. Gave him the spiel. And he said, yeah, you know what? You're totally right. It does need pictures, and it does need decent pictures at least. So why don't you let me know what time you're available? I said, this date at this time. He said, okay, great. So I showed up, and I had tried texting him twice to get follow-ups. I sent him my information through a text as he asked me to, and I asked him to send me an email where I could send the pictures to, and he didn't get back to me. And then the day before the shoot, I asked him to confirm. You know, I said, hey, so I'm going to be here at this time. This is all still good, right? And he didn't get back to me. And then some other guy, and I still don't know his relationship to the condo because he hasn't been able to tell me. He called me and he said, hey, the condo is unlocked, but you have to be able to get in the building, so get a hold of the maintenance guy. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I tried to get a hold of the maintenance guy. They have an intercom system where you press the button for the maintenance guy or people who live there, and he didn't answer. So I waited a few minutes, and then I saw that there was a delivery man delivering packages there, and he was waiting for someone to let him in because he had a big box. He had it was like a dishwasher or something. So I just waited behind him, and I followed him in and went up to the condo, and it was locked. So I called the guy that had called me earlier, and he was like, oh, well, it's supposed to be unlocked. I'm like, well, it's not, dude. And he's like, all right, well, try to get a hold of the maintenance man. I was like, I did that. He didn't answer. And he said, okay, let me give you his phone number. So I called the maintenance guy, and he said, yeah, I do have a key. I can let you in, but I don't know who you are, so I can't do it. Have you got to have the owner or the realtor call me. I was like, all right. So I tried to call the realtor. He didn't pick up. And then I called the guy who I talked to a few minutes ago. I still don't know who he was. And I told him the deal, like, the maintenance guy won't let me in because he doesn't know who I am. And I said, hey, I don't know your relationship to this place, but can you call the maintenance guy and have him let me in? And he did, and it was all good. And I got in, but it was very, very dirty. There was dust everywhere, and the windows were all really dirty, and the lights wouldn't turn on. So I asked the maintenance guy who was still there with me if he could turn the electricity on. So we went to the fuse panel, and that didn't work. And so there was no power, so there was no lights, and there were areas that were super, super, super dark and areas that were super, super, super bright. And I just had a single flash, and I didn't have like the equipment to light up the place without interior lights. I was totally expecting there to be lights there. So it didn't, I did the very best that I could, but it's taking a lot of editing, and I'm still kind of new at my editing software, so I'm trying to get this good. But that's basically the story of what happened there. I am now in Cape Canaveral and heading towards Cocoa Beach. So this is all, like, everywhere I've driven today is all like 5-minute drives. And I read this really cool article that my girlfriend sent me yesterday, and I just wanted to talk about that for a minute. This article, they talk about neuroplasticity and how our brains are constantly changing their physical shape depending on how we train them through our thoughts, and how the synapses grow apart and grow closer together, making it easier and more of an automatic thing to think certain types of thoughts. And the whole thing was about complaining and about how bad complaining is for you, about how the more you do it, the easier it becomes for that to become habit and to become your regular train of thought, especially if you're not consciously thinking about the way that you think and creating your thought forms to create your emotional states. So they talk about how, like I said, the more you complain, the easier it is and the more it becomes automatic. Well, that goes the other way too. The more you look at things in a positive light and look at the ways you can learn from things and the way that things can make you a stronger person, and the more grateful you are for every situation, the more accepting of it you are, rather than resisting it and fighting it and saying, oh, I hate this and this is BS and this guy's a jerk, man, and all this stuff, the easier it becomes, and it becomes habit. And I've seen how this is true within myself. For the longest time, I was totally a negative person, complaining, hated everything, was pissed off at the world, thought the world owed me everything. And that was just my normal, that had become habit, that's just the way I learned how to think. And once I started questioning all my beliefs and changing the way that I thought, it became habit to have a positive attitude towards everything. And another thing they talked about in this article is how when you're in a negative thought space, it creates these negative emotions, because I don't believe that any emotions are positive or negative. They're just helpful or unhelpful, or comfortable or uncomfortable. So they talk about how these uncomfortable, unhelpful emotions create stress in the body and cortisol. And cortisol absolutely wreaks havoc on your body. And just creating thoughts that make you angry raise your blood pressure, and they can lead to heart disease and all kinds of things. Cortisol stress I haven't read like absolute concrete evidence on this yet, but apparently there's theories that stress can lead to cancer. If you're in a stressful state all the time, you're more likely to get cancer. I'm not saying that stress causes cancer, because I don't know that. But cortisol stress reduces your immune system tremendously. It greatly impacts your immune system. So if you think positive, grateful thoughts and you're in a positive mental and emotional state, then your immune system is so much stronger. So you're happier, you're healthier, you're making other people happier, because people are naturally empathetic, and they automatically think and feel what you're feeling to whatever extent. Some people are not even aware that they're doing it, but they are. Unless you're a psychopath or something, then you don't. That's another topic. So you're a positive, thinking positively not only makes your immune system stronger and your body stronger and you happier more often, but it makes other people happier, and it inspires other people, and does all this good. So it's so important for us to take responsibility for our thoughts and learn to think in a way that is helpful rather than harmful. And I'm not saying you should deny when things are painful and when things are traumatic or difficult. That's a totally separate thing. I'm talking about everyday things. Sometimes things hurt. Loved ones die, breakups happen, traumatic, violent events happen. Those things are real. There's terrible, terrible things happening in the world right now. People are starving to death. There's war, famine, everything, discrimination, just terrible, terrible things are happening. And we should not deny those. But I'm saying that regular, everyday stuff for us in the Western world, because our lives aren't that hard. Like, we're not starving to death. It's not kill or be killed right now for most of us. We have it pretty damn good. If you're watching this, you're either on a computer or a cell phone or a TV going through the internet. Like, you have life pretty damn good. There's no reason to complain. Check this out. Yeah. All right, guys, so I've been sitting in this parking lot for a while. I got done with the editing. I tried to figure out how to get a payment from the real estate agency. And I tried to do a PayPal invoice, and that didn't work out at all. They weren't able to put in their credit card information. It wouldn't accept it. So they are mailing me a check on Monday. So I want to show you guys how I'm doing tonight's time lapse of this sunset. Isn't it beautiful? Check that out. So I've got my my phone set up here. I can't get my, I haven't figured out how to do the time lapses on the DSLR, and this is kind of a last second thing. But check this out. Right, so a very special thanks goes out to my friend and mentor, Albert. Thank you, sir. Okay, so let's do some cooking now. This is what I like to do for breakfast, and it's simple overnight oatmeal, no cooking involved. It works best if you have a fridge, but I think it would work if you had a cooler too. Basically, you just want to cool the oats. So I put in about half oats. I'm very loose with this. There's no tightness. And then you add milk. I don't do milk anymore. I'm doing the vegan thing now. So I've got whatever this is, almond cashew milk. But I only have a little bit left. So I'm going to add, let's see, I like to fill it up to the oats. That seems about right. Looks like I got a little more to go. So I'm going to add some rice milk. I need to pick up more of this stuff. I love my rice milk, man. Love it. Yeah, fill it up about to the oats, somewhere in there. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, I'll do a little bit more because I'm going to add a bunch of other stuff too. Yeah, a little more than the oats. And then I add my chia seeds. And this is you just you throw all this stuff together in a cup and you stick it in the fridge, and the next morning it's ready to go. And I think you can use it up to 24 hours later, and you can just put in whatever you want. This is by no means a strict recipe. This is cacao powder, like raw cacao, because I love chocolate. I'm a chocolate fiend, man. That might not have been as funny as I thought it was. That was kind of a corny thing to do. That's all right. I did it anyway. Woo! We got some flax seeds up in his house. Let's dump some of those bad boys in here. Now, almost all the stuff that I'm putting in here is not sustaining energy. This is big boost in the morning. This is wake up and mow this thing down and get out the dough. We got some hemp seeds. These are so good for you. Tons of omega-3 fatty acids. Great for the brain. Great kickstart for the brain first thing in the morning. Just amazing little seeds. The hemp plant is an amazing, magical plant. And we got some dried cherries. Wish they were organic, but that's okay. I'm going to eat them anyway. Those have a nice, sweet little punch to them. So I'm going to add a few of those in there. Not a ton, but just some. And then some raisins. I'm going to do like a good handful of those. Maybe even a little more. I like my raisins. I love raisins. They're all delicious. And you know what? Just for poopies and giggles, I'm going to do a little chocolate whey protein. Just a little bit, not a lot. Just get a little extra protein in there because I do have a super fast metabolism, and the more protein I eat, the better. There we go. So that's it. Now just stir it, stick it in the fridge. It's ready to go tomorrow. If you haven't hit the like button by now, then please do. Other than that, love yourself and enjoy this time lapse. Woo!